Hi guys, Jess back again, and today I am making some gift tags to put around some cookies that I'm giving to my neighbours. And this is for the Stash Busters Hop. So our challenge this month was to use something glittery and sparkly. And so I'm digging into my stash for some different equipment to use in these gift tags. So I am using the Stamping Up Festival of Trees collection. And I was just looking at my different coloured green inks there to see what colours I liked the best for my trees. And I couldn't decide between two of them, but I have to make 3 different batches of cookies anyway. So I'm going to do 2 tags today on camera, and the third one I'll just quickly whip up off camera. Which you didn't need to know. I could have just pretended I was only doing 2 because you never actually see the third one. Silly me. So what I'm doing is I am putting the ink onto my stamp. That is the Kaiser Craft green ink. I'm using the Kaiser Craft, and I'm also using the little one. I can't remember what it's called. Hopefully you can see it in the photo. Archival ink. So just stamping on the green tree and then just getting a baby wipe to clean that off. It's probably almost time that I wash these stamps in some soapy water. They're getting a little bit sticky, but they're okay. And then, the archival green moss there that I'm using and popping that down as well. Now, I have got patterned white paper or embossed white paper. My white paper has I don't want to use the word print, but do you know what I mean? Like a texture to it. So I flip it over and use the other side when I'm stamping. When I'm not stamping, I use the textured side because I like it and think it's pretty, but I find it easier to stamp on the smooth, flat side. So you don't have to. You can definitely stamp on the textured side, but I just find it easier to stamp on the clear side. So now I am getting out the spotty stamp, which kind of looks like the bonbons that you would, not the bonbons, sorry, the baubles that you would put on your Christmas tree. And I am using my clear glue stamp to emboss with. Now in the glass jar there, I have got a mixture of gold embossing glitter, green embossing, and red embossing glitter. I just got out a couple of others because I thought I might run out. So I got out the Stamping Up copper, gold embossing glitter, red embossing glitter, green. And I think I might have got silver as well. I don't actually end up using them at all. I've got enough in that little collection there. It is quite green in that collection, but And if I was starting fresh, I wouldn't have used so much green, but I would really like to use up these scraps of embossing because I don't want to waste it. I just get a little brush as well to brush off all the extra bits and to tidy it up a little bit, because obviously if you leave any bits sort of floating around when you apply the heat, they're going to stick there, and I wanted to try and have it as clean and tidy as possible. So I just do that to all 6 of the trees, scraping off the excess. I tried to spin it around a little bit because I could see a lot of the gold glitter was sticking to the bottom, and I wanted to get a little bit more of the gold out. I realised that I was being a little bit silly doing 1 tree at a time. I could probably get away with doing a few more than that, so I'm just popping the second tree on as well. Do be careful when you're using your brush to clear away the glitter. A lot of the embossing stuck to the brush, so I was able to clear it away, but it would also stick a little bit too. I found if I used a lot of embossing, it would really, really attach or adhere to the glue stamp, and then I could be a little bit rougher, I suppose, with tapping the paper, and that was a little bit more effective getting the excess off than actually the brush was. What the brush was really good for, though, was if I sort of smudged the stamp a little bit. I found that there were 2 baubles that I just couldn't stamp cleanly, and they'd end up smushing together, so I could use the stamp to round those up again, which was not the stamp, sorry, the brush to round those up again and tidy those up. So that was really good. So this time I'm trying to be a little bit more efficient and do all 3 trees at the same time, but I am also running out of embossing powder, so I couldn't quite decorate all 3 at once. So when I was tipping it off, I tried to tip down over the other trees because I was a little bit worried. I don't know how quickly the glue dries, but I was a little bit worried about the glue drying, and then it'd be a bit of a disaster because they'd half be embossed and half be not, and oh my goodness, drama. So just reusing the embossing over and over again, and just showing you now before it's been embossed and then after it's been embossed. So to apply the heat, I used my toaster. We have got a heat gun, but I forgot to get it off my sister. We just share. So I just went over and waved the piece of paper face down above the toaster and let the heat from the toaster melt it. It works really well. A heat gun would be easier, but it works really well. So now just punching out the trees. So the tags I'm making, they need 3 trees each, and they're a little 3D tag. So the challenge was to use glitter and sparkles. So my first sparkle and glitter was the embossing, and then I do use a little bit more as we keep going, so stay tuned. So what you need to do is you need to fold the 3 trees in half, and you've got to fold them on each other, so right sides together. So it's a little bit fiddly, especially the stalk, because it's a little bit thin. So do the stalk part or the stem parts carefully. But yeah, so just fold each 3 together. And then I just use double-sided tape to stick it together, because you're going to make a 3D tree, which is going to look really cool. Before I stuck it together, I put the ribbon that I'm going to use as like the dangle on. So I just got some red and white twine, and I just sticky taped that to the inside of one of the trees, because they're all going to be stuck together. You're not going to see it anyway. So popped a little bit of sticky tape on there and trimmed any excess that was hanging out the sides. I got this idea off Pinterest, I think, so I can't take credit for doing it myself. I saw a picture on Pinterest. Don't know who did it, so thank you very much to the person that was creative enough to think of this, because it's cool and I really like it. So double-sided tape on the tree, and then as you can see, stick those 2 together. Already starting to take shape and it looks cool. And then the next one. Does anyone else find if they cut their double-sided tape that their scissors get so manky? I've got a particular pair of scissors that I just use for double-sided tape, and I just give them a wash in hot water every now and then to get the glue residue off. And then there's other scissors that I try not to use with the double-sided tape at all, so they don't get manky at all. So just sticking all those together, tying a knot in the end of my ribbon, and there is the first little tree. And now I'm doing the second one. So the second one's exactly the same. Fold them together, right sides together, and then double-sided tape, or a bit of sticky tape first for the twine. I use a different color twine this time, just to change it up a little bit. This time I get some green and white twine from my stash. Again, when you see it, you'll see what I'm talking about. This green and white twine was gifted to me in a happy mail with some washi tape, which is so cool. I get really jealous of the washi tape people in the States have, because we really don't have stuff as beautiful as the stuff you've got in the States. And like, 'cause you guys can get those really long, thin, like the big long tubes that have got 20 rolls in them. I have not seen that at all in Australia. Well, not where I am in Australia anyway. And if we did have it, it'd probably cost like $1 million. Anyway, raving. Putting on my tag. I hope you guys have been watching our other Scrapbusters hops. We have done 4 months, I think, might be more. And the idea, obviously, is to use your stash, use things you have at home. So I'm reusing the leftover embossing powder that I had. I used scrap bits of paper that I punched out the trees from. So trying to use up your stash and trying to show that you don't need to go and buy all the time. You've got some awesome stuff in your collection that we've just got to make the most of. I think my favorite stash buster video so far was using up the leftover alphas. So if you're interested in how to use up the alpha stickers, you know, like the random letters or the Z's or other letters that you just can't use up, we've got some really cool videos showing you different ways that we used up. And my video, plug away myself, I actually show you, I think it's 4 different layouts of how to use up your leftover alphas, so check them out. So I finished putting those trees together, and now I am getting 2 star sequins, and they were gifted to me from Tori Bissell. I won one of her Scrap Your Stash challenges that she made, and so she sent me some beautiful goodies in as a gift, as a prize. So yeah, just popping a star on the top. Now, obviously the star you can only sort of see from one side of the tree, but I didn't want to use 3 stars. I didn't know how I'd stick them on. 1 star looks cool, so that's okay. And then my camera cuts out, well, it cuts out in a second anyway, but it's okay, you don't miss much. What I am doing now is just putting on some gems, some sparkle. So here's a bit more of my sparkle. I put on some red sparkle and I put on some silver sparkle. And you probably didn't need to watch me putting those all on. Anyway, I do 3 silver on each of the sides and 2 red on each of the sides. And I'm going to cut back in a minute and show you what it looks like, because my phone ran out of space and it stopped recording and said, sorry, there's no more room on your camera. But I didn't know. Not quite as bad as my sister's last video, thank goodness. She lost heaps of stuff. Me, I only lost a couple of minutes, so that's okay. So yeah, gluing these all on. I thought these looked so cool. I was really happy with these. Oh, something else I do while off camera actually is I make a little tag. And on the I put washi tape on the back of the tag, and on the front of the tag I stamp the 2 sentiments that come with the Festival of Trees. And one is a very merry wish, I think, and I can't remember what the other one is. You could also write on the little tag, you know, who it's to and who it's from, but I actually didn't know all of my neighbours' names that I'm giving the gift to, so I just left it blank and that's why I put the washi on the back and the stamp on the front. So yeah, obviously this went a lot longer than I remember it going, but I am going to cut out in about 20 seconds and come back to showing you the finished tags. So stay tuned. When I come back, I'm a little bit shaky because I'm holding the camera in one hand and the tree in the other hand because I wanted it to be a nice close-up. So sorry about that. And you'll be able to see the gift tag that I added to the top of the tree as well. They look really cute, if I do say so myself. Here they come. So here is the finished tag. You can see the sparkling gems and the way the embossing sparkles, and you can see the little washi tape tag that I put at the top. I was really happy with how they looked. I thought that was super cute. Yeah, I just really loved them and they were great. So now, just as a little added bonus, I'm showing you how I'm using them. And I got my cookies. I'm still on my craft desk, so I've left the cookies in the Tupperware container because I didn't want to get them a bit manky from my craft desk. And so what I'm doing is tying the same ribbon around the cookies. And then I'm adding the gift tag on. And then to give those to the neighbours, I just sit them on a paper doily on a paper plate. So, you know, I'm not holding them all the time. And yeah, I just think they look so cute. I was so happy with how these turned out. Just in case you're wondering, they are homemade shortbreads dipped in chocolate, white chocolate and just normal milk chocolate with a little bit of Christmas hundreds and thousands. And I think they're adorable. We just live in a neighbourhood with a few older residents on either side of us, and I thought it was just a lovely idea to give the older residents a little gift for Christmas to say thank you for being such lovely neighbours, because we don't really know our neighbours that well, and I think that's sad. I would like to. So yeah, there are my two cookie decorated with my tag, and here are some close-ups of how they looked and how those gift tags looked on the gift, and I think they're adorable. So please like and subscribe. Please check out the other ladies in the YouTube hop, and have a very Merry Christmas. Bye. Actually, I think it's up to New Year by now. Have a very Merry New Year. Bye, guys.